Welcome to your City of Santa Monica email. This video was created specifically for boards and commissions as a tutorial for using City of Santa Monica email. I'm going to cover logging into your email, setting up a permanent password, including guidelines for city passwords, some added security that we're going to have you set up, checking your messages once you've set up your password and logged in successfully, installing the Outlook mobile app on your cell phones and tablets if you need to check your email on the go. And I'm going to end this video with actually logging into a test email account and showing you a live example of how to navigate around. Logging into City of Santa Monica email is done through the internet. So I want you to open up your web browser, and it doesn't matter which one you use. I'm personally a fan of Google Chrome, but you might like Internet Explorer or Safari or any of the browsers that are on your computer. And the web address that we're going to go to is https://portal.office.com. And it doesn't need to be in all caps, and you'll type it at the top of your browser just like that. And you'll see that it says email, phone, or Skype under sign in, and I want you to sign in with your full City of Santa Monica email address. So this is a test account, but you'll sign in with your first name dot last name at smgov.net, and I want you to enter your password. So the default password for your accounts is welcome 2018, and that W is capitalized. And then click sign in. And it's going to ask you if you want to save your password. So here's my rule of thumb on this. If you're using a computer that is only your computer and nobody else logs into it, like your kids or your spouse or your grandkids or your aunts or uncles or anybody or your neighbor, if nobody else uses your laptop, it's okay to save your password. I never want you to save your password if you're on a shared system, like a work shared system or the library. That's when you never want to save your password, because anybody who logs in and goes to that address, portal.office.com, can get into your account if you have your password saved. So never, never, never if it's a shared system. When you log in for the very first time, you're going to get to this screen that says more information required. So the first thing I want you to do on this screen is just simply click Next. This is going to set up something called multi-factor authentication. So that may sound like a scary term, but all that means is that your email is going to require more than one factor to log you in. So I want you to click Next. And think of this as when you go to the gas station and you use your credit card, and it asks you for your zip code. Now, I don't remember when that started happening, but at some point that started happening with my credit card, and I never thought twice about it. I didn't think they were trying to annoy me. I knew that that had something to do with security, and that's two factors or multi-factor authentication. It wants my credit card is one factor, and then my zip code is another factor in order for me to use that payment type. So this is what the screen looks like that will begin the process of setting up that multi-factor authentication, or that second code. And it'll be a randomly generated code. You'll receive it by text every time you log into your email. You can also receive it in another way. I think text is the easiest, and I'll cover the other way quickly in a minute for those of you that don't have a texting plan. But when you see this screen, simply click Set Up. Now in this next window, we're going to start to customize this place where you're going to get this code generated. So there's a drop-down box in that first window, and we're in the United States, so we're going to make that choice. Put your mobile phone number area code first in the second box. As I mentioned, text is the easiest way to get this code. It's how I get my code. If you don't have a texting plan or you don't like to text, you can also choose the Call Me option. And then we're going to click Next. Now in this next window, you see two different screenshots here. The one on the right is my cell phone, where I received the text message the day that I logged in to make this video. And the window on the left is still on my computer. And that's where it's going to ask for that code, enter the code we sent to, and that's your phone number. So there's my cell phone on the right-hand side. I'm going to take that code 554827, and I'm going to type it in this box to verify it, and then I'm going to click done. Now, this final box for this multi-factor authentication piece is just telling us that it's been set up correctly. You'll see the little green circle with a check mark saying you're all set, you're good to go. There may be times where we add additional security features like security questions like you may have with your bank account or different things that you log into. Right now, all we're using is phone, so you're only going to see one there. And you just simply click done. Now, if you've already reset your password to something permanent, you won't see this screen. This is for those of you that have never logged into your email, or if you've had us reset your password because you don't remember it. So you're going to type your current password in, and remember that's that welcome 2018 with the capital W. Then you're going to type in a new password, and it's going to ask you to confirm that very same password. So I'm going to give you the city's guidelines for passwords. Your password must contain at least 8 characters, and remember that the longer your password is, the more secure it is. And we may soon be going to 10 characters, and we'll let everyone know, but at least 8 is the requirement for now. We make you change it every 6 months, and you'll get an email from us when that's getting close. And it has to have 3 of the following 4 categories: capital letter, a lowercase letter, a number, and a symbol. And as you can see, our Welcome 2018 meets that guideline because we have a capital, a lowercase, and a number. We also could have used a symbol. Your passwords cannot use any of your username. So if your name is Jane Doe, you can't have your password be Jane Doe 123. It won't let you do it. It'll give you an error message. And you can't reuse a password that you've used in the last year. Well, we don't know what password you use. Microsoft has a way of knowing that it's the same password that you've used within the last year. So you've got to try a new one until a year is up, and then you can go back to that old password from a year ago. Now here's some suggestions. First of all, the rule of thumb these days is to use a passphrase rather than a password because passphrases tend to be longer. And for example, if my password were I love New York, I could play with it a little bit, use some of the characters or the categories above, and come up with that password. Now, the tricky part for me always is remembering my passwords as soon as I change them. So make it something that makes sense to you, but it's also difficult enough that somebody isn't going to be able to guess that. And then click sign in. And then you'll be put into this, which is we call the portal. But the portal is a place where you have lots of different icons. The ones that are going to be most important to you probably are the Outlook icon, and then you may also use the calendar, and that people is your contacts that are associated with this account. You may or may not use this calendar and contacts, but if you do, you would want to use those as well. So once I click on Outlook, it's going to put me in my mailbox. Now this may look a little bit confusing, so let me demystify this for you. There are 2 different folders, one called Focused, one called Other. And Focused is where all of your main important email goes. And if I were to click on Other, it would show me messages that Microsoft has deemed are less important to you. If it's a mass mailing from somewhere and looks to be a sales kind of an email, Microsoft might think that that's an other email versus a focused email versus one that needs your focus immediately. When you get to the screen, you can simply say got it. And here's a look. This is a test email account, so you can see there's not many messages in there, and a lot of them are just testing. But if I click on any of those messages, it'll give me a preview on the right side, and it'll show me all of my text. And if there were any graphics, I would see those in there as well. So let's take a minute and go into the live email environment, and I can show you around. So here we are in the live portal. I've already logged in and set up my multi-factor authentication, so if you need to see that again, go back to the beginning of the video. Here's my Outlook, which is going to get me straight to my messages. You also have the option of going straight to your calendar, people, and tasks from here. Or if you go into your Outlook, I'll show you an easier way. You have all of those options down here. And it's easier to switch back and forth without having to go back to that main screen. So let me show you a little bit about Outlook. So here I am, and I see some numbers next to my inbox. Now it says 3, but if you count the number of messages, it shows that I actually have 4 messages. That 3 is only showing me my unread messages. So you can see that the 3rd message on the list is not bold, which means I've already read it. So it's not going to show up there. If I read it, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss it and I have to come back to it, I can select it on if you have a PC, you're going to right mouse click, or if you have a Mac, you're going to use 2 fingers, and then you're going to mark as unread. And now you'll see I have 4 messages. You also see I have some folders up here. Now inbox is there, but it's also there. So what's the difference? The difference is this is my favorites. So some people like to create folders, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And they have so many folders that they have to scroll way down to get to the chosen folder. Maybe you have folders for initiatives that your board or commission or task force is working on right now, and you have some old ones that you want to save in folders, but it's not current for you. You can, if this test one was something that's current for me, I could click on the little star, and you'll see the little pop-up screen says add to favorites. So if I click on it, it's going to add it up here. And once I no longer want to see that, or I no longer need to access it quickly, I can click on the star and just say OK for remove from favorites, and then it won't be up there. But this is just a view of what you see down here. These are not 2 separate inboxes. So there's my inbox, any folders that I've created, and you can create a folder simply by, if you're on a PC, right mouse clicking, and if you're on a Mac, click with 2 fingers, and then just say create new subfolder, and then give it a name. So maybe this one's XYZ, and so on and so forth. Whatever folder you're on, when you click with your either right mouse or 2 fingers, is where it's going to put the folder. So if I say, maybe this is test 0000, it'll put a subfolder under this folder. And if I didn't mean to do that, I can just click and drag it right under inbox, and it'll put it there. So there's your folders. You can also make any of your other folders favorites. Like right now, I've got by default inbox, sent, and drafts in my folders, in my favorites. Maybe I want to add deleted items to my favorites. I don't generally want that, but I could. Or if I did it by accident, I could remove it. And any folder I'm clicked on, I'll see the messages within that folder. And if I click on the message, I'll see the text within that message. And I could reply to it from here, or if I click on the little arrow, I get some other options. Reply all, I could forward it. I could reply to all by setting up a meeting. If you're meeting with each other, don't forget about the Brown Act. I could delete it directly from here. Maybe this particular person is somebody who had an initiative before the board, and now that business is over. You could even delete all messages from that given person. This one came from me to this test mailbox, so it would delete everything from me. You can mark it as read. So right now you'll see I have all these messages that are all bold. I've got a number 3 next to them in my inbox. If I mark this one as read, you'll see it is no longer bold, and I now only have 2 unread messages in my inbox. There's some more options up here. I could mark it as unread up here, or mark it as read. It's already read, so I'm going to mark it as unread. I could pin it. Now, there's a couple ways to pin things, but if I pin it, it'll keep it at the top of my list of email. So the other way to pin it is just to hover up here and click on the pin. And maybe this is a super important email. It's something I don't want to forget, but I'm running out the door. I just noticed it, and I want to pin it. You can just unclick the pin. Now, all of this is what you're doing on your computer, and I'll show you in a few minutes how to navigate on your mobile device. But that's a basic overview of your City of Santa Monica email. If you need more advanced features or you have questions about how to do things, please let your liaison know and they'll get you in touch with our information services department, most likely with me. If it's something that's super advanced that I think more people will probably benefit from, I can create a video or some sort of a reference guide. If it's something that I think isn't going to be of interest in a widespread way, then I can set up a time to meet with you on the phone or meet with you in person and walk you through how to do something. And if you want to get your email on your mobile devices, like most people do these days, there's a separate reference guide, and I'm going to walk you through this guide since I don't have the ability to record directly from my mobile phone. You'll have to download the Outlook mobile app. So whether you have an Android and you have a Play Store or you have an iPhone and you have an App Store, you're going to go there and you're going to search for Microsoft Outlook. And this guide will walk you step by step through it. When you click on it, you're going to have some sort of button. It might look a little bit different depending on your phone to install it and then to get started. And just follow the prompts. If your prompts look a little bit different and you have a different phone than I do, it'll be intuitive. Microsoft's goal is to make this intuitive for anybody, no matter what technical aptitude they have. So it should be pretty easy to follow, even if it doesn't completely match these steps. So it's going to walk you through putting in your email address. It's going to do that for a couple of reasons. It's going to be setting up your email as you go. It's also verifying that you have a license to download Outlook, the Outlook mobile app. And you do for as long as you have a City of Santa Monica email. So you're going to type that in there, then you're going to click. If you see a window that looks like this, as I do on my phone, or some other window that asks you about, do you want Outlook to access your calendars? What it's asking you is, do you want the emails that you're creating on your mobile device in your City email to be able to use email addresses that you have saved in your contacts from any other email accounts that you have set up on your mobile device? So I said allow because I'm fine with that, but you could say deny if you want to really keep them separate. And this won't allow access to anything else between mailboxes, only your contacts. Then it's going to ask you for your password, and you'll click sign in. And you'll remember from earlier in the video when you set up your multi-factor authentication that it's going to text you a code. So even if you're setting up your email on the phone, that you're setting up your mobile app, your mobile Outlook app, you're still going to get a text message. So once you get that code, you're going to put that in there and then click on sign in. Now, once you set up your email, it takes about 30 minutes for your email to synchronize with your phone. So if you see stuff on your computer that you don't see on your phone, don't worry, it hasn't been deleted. It's just taking time to synchronize for the very first time. So now using the Outlook mobile app, and again, this is on my iPhone. If you have an Android, it might look a little bit different, but Microsoft is trying to create consistency across platforms. So you might see very similar screen captures, just buttons might be in different places. So as we talked about earlier, we still see our focused and our other inbox. And focused is messages of higher importance, and others are messages that Outlook thinks you want deprioritized. If you want to turn off the focused inbox, that's definitely your prerogative. You can do that from here. If you click on these three little lines up here, it'll take you to this window, and then you click on this little thing that looks like a gear. It's called settings, and scroll down to focused inbox and then just swipe across, and that'll turn it off. Some people don't like it, some people like it. It's a personal preference. You can also set up an Outlook signature. So when you create a new message on your mobile device, maybe you want it to auto-populate that you're a member of a certain commission and maybe the phone number that you can be reached back at or your email address or something. You can do that while you're in settings under signature. And if you click on it, it'll give you a space where you can type in a bunch of information. Okay, and you see signature is just right above where we turned off or turned on our focused inbox. You also get some options in terms of your calendar on how you want to view your calendar. So the default is that Outlook thinks that Sunday's the start of the week. Maybe that doesn't work for you and you want it to be Monday or whatever. You can make that change. You also can, instead of being required to type in a password when you get into Outlook, you can say require Touch ID, and then that'll turn on your thumbprint. You can, or your fingerprint, whatever you want to use. When you're back in your main mailbox, you have down here at the bottom, we were here, emails, which is your messages. Your calendar is here. And this is your search button that will search everything. It'll search messages, contacts. When you're in your calendar, you'll see this icon up here. And if you click on it, it'll let you change how you view your calendar. So you can see it as an agenda, which will just be a list. You can see it one day at a time, like this. It's just showing me the 18th of September. Or you can look at 3 days as well. And if you turn your phone sideways when you're in your calendar, it'll show you a whole week. So if you click on the search button in the middle, this bar up here that says Mail, Contacts, and Files will search everything in your mailbox. If you click on the Contacts button, it'll get you to your contacts. Now, right here you can see I'm only seeing 4, and then here's a little bit of a contact. You can scroll over on your phone just like you would in any other app where you needed to scroll. And you can see all of your contacts. You can also search for a particular contact up here just by putting in their name. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is an email that you're going to get every day from quarantine@messaging.microsoft.com. Now, we talked about that focused and other inbox, but there are also messages called spam messages, and that are messages that Microsoft thinks are malicious in some way, or they have some characteristics that lead Microsoft to believe that they might be malicious in some way. So in this email that you get every day, if you get it on your phone, it'll look like phone-sized, but you can take a look and see, oh, this TechSmith one I know is somebody that I communicate with frequently, so I could release that to my inbox. So it would unquarantine it. I could also click on the report is not junk here. Now this will send a message to Microsoft, and I'm told that they do read those messages, but they look to, if they're going to take something off of the junk list or the quarantine list, they look to focus on messages that are going to help the vast majority of Microsoft users. So this TechSmith is a product that I use that probably not a lot of people use. So if I report it as not junk, I'm probably not going to expect that Microsoft is going to get to that right away, but I can definitely release it to my inbox when it comes in. So that's a basic lesson in using your City of Santa Monica email. If you have any questions about anything that I've covered, or you want to know how to do something that I didn't cover, reach out to your liaison and they can contact me, and we can set up a time where I can give you a call on the phone, or I can even have you come in and we can take a look at it if it needs addressing in person. If there's something that you ask me that I think will be a benefit to the rest of the people who are on boards and commissions or task forces, you might in the future see more reference guides from me or more videos, because my goal is to give you the tools to help you navigate your city email so that you can respond to the people that need you.